Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to week 9, my countdown to my first Ironman in Sacramento, October 22nd, 2023. All right, so 9 weeks left. I started this journey a year, I wouldn't say a year ago, but a year from the race. So again, we're at 9 weeks, getting close to not only the race, but also to my 1-year anniversary of training. And I've had minimal injuries. I've had one injury preparing for the marathon where I had something like a twinge in my calf. That went away, and I've been pretty much injury free this whole time until last week. Last week I mentioned that I started to feel a deep pain in my trap, not the top of the trap, but behind the trap. And I'm thinking it's either from swimming or cycling. And the reason I say that is because it really hurts when I lift my head up. And the only time I'm lifting my head up is when I'm in the arrow position, riding my bike, doing this. And then number 2, when I'm swimming, my head is slightly at an angle and I'm turning it as I breathe. I don't really think it's the swimming, but as I was swimming earlier today, I could feel, I don't want to say the activation, but just the uncomfortableness of my trap. With that being said, I do not want to work this hard and go into the race injured. So what I decided to do is I scheduled an appointment at a physical therapy place, so hopefully they can check my trap out, give me a diagnosis, give me a problem, and I can take it and solve it, and I can go from there. Problem is, I do this for other people, but when I'm emotionally involved in it, it's different, it's harder. I'm just like everyone else. I'll be in denial. Sometimes I don't want to get the work done if I don't know what's going on, when there's a lot of excuses. So I am going to a professional and having them check out my shoulder, and let's see what happens. So maybe it's been going away, but it's still lingering. But I just need to have someone check it out, tell me what to do, and I'll get it done. So I'll be going to Agile here in Palo Alto, and my first time doing this. So let's, when I had surgery, I didn't even go to rehab. So this is actually like my first time going to someone and having them look at me and take care of me. So I've gone to chiropractors, but never a physical therapist. So I am extremely excited to see the process, really excited to see the information that I gain. So we will see how that goes. So I will see if I can video like time lapse while I'm in there, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know what the results and the solution is. All right, so I am back from the appointment, and the lady told me that I have 2 issues. So issue number 1 is going to be the trap area, right? She said it's very tight, and not only is this side tight, she even said that the other side is worse. So that's the one injury or pain that I'm having. And the second one, she said that she had to really go deep into my armpit to alleviate some of the tension. And she was saying that it's most likely a rotator cuff injury. And I wouldn't say it's torn, or I wouldn't say it's anything bad, but she said it's definitely aggravated, and that I definitely need to but recover more stretching, more relaxation. She's very tense. My muscles were very hard. And I took that as a compliment. She goes, man, I've never, or not never, but she's like, man, I don't feel this type of tension or muscular wise in a lot of people. So take as a compliment all the jiu-jitsu and all the swimming. But all joking aside, when I do all my recovery work, I do the majority of my hips, because I've been so worried about my knees that has been the majority of my recovery time. Now I have to focus on my shoulders, and definitely need to start working more rotator cuff exercises or rotator cuff movements. So that was the result of the session. We'll make one more session next week, so that way we can hopefully get ahead of this injury and not fall behind. So this is part of being an athlete, you know. It's not just about the output, but also the input of what you're giving your body. And the input is the recovery, the input is the massage, the input is the acupuncture, the input is all the stuff that you're giving back to your body so that your body can perform at its peak performance. So trust me, this is hard for me. You know, this is why I needed someone to tell me and show me what my issues were, because, you know, I'm in denial. I just want to be like, all right, let me just go work. That's all I need to do. I'll give myself a good massage. I'll do my rolling. No, I really needed this different professional eyes, really focusing on my injuries. And I'm glad I did it. If you guys know me, people know that I hate massages. I don't like people touching me. Why? Because I'm ticklish. So this was really going out of my box. And like I said, this event, Ironman, requires this type of dedication, requires this type of discipline. All the things that I normally wouldn't do, I'm now doing. So this is how serious I'm taking this event. Again, we're 9 weeks away and I am looking forward to it. Man, I'm dreaming about it. I'm thinking about it. Like, you know, before it was just, okay, I'm training. I'm just being busy. Now that I know that it's 9 weeks away, you know, now close to 8, because this week's almost over. So it's just, everything is just going into my mind. I'm doing the final preparation things. My body feels good outside of the injury. I feel ready, right? The things now that we're gonna be working on in my training program is time, right? My cardio is feeling good. The strength of my body feels good. Like, I'm not really doing that much more improvements. Like, this is what I'm taking to the race, and I feel comfortable with this. Again, minus the injury, that's something I need to work on, but conditioning wise, endurance wise, durability wise, I feel ready. And I'm just gonna get better and more ready in these next 8 weeks, because now we're working on time, the amount of time that I need to train. So like this week, for example, last week I did a 4-hour and 45-minute bike ride. This week is a 5-hour bike ride followed with a 45-minute run. So time in the training sessions are increasing. I know in September I kind of peaked already, and it's not peaked meaning I peaked into my training program. In September, I have a centennial ride, a 100-mile ride with a 2-hour run after. So the combinations and the time is definitely increasing. So again, these upcoming months are crucial, but I feel great. I feel that I'm ready mentally, physically. You know, these little injuries, you know, we'll just brush them off. We'll take care of them. There's no major injuries. There's no bone spurs. There's no torn ligaments. There's no broken bones. So I will take this type of injury any day over anything major. So that's the update for now. We will see you soon. All right, today is the long ride. It's gonna be a 5-hour ride. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna follow that up with a 45-minute run. So I'm gonna test out some new things today. One of the things that I purchased while I was in Colorado, I went to the REI and found these, right? So these are GU containers. Now a GU is one of these, right? I found the GU shots. I found the flavor that I liked, and each packet is 100 calories, and it has 95 milligrams of sodium and 25 grams of carbohydrates. Today I'm going to experiment on consumption of GUs, but now instead of having one, I now have combined 5 in these little containers. So actually, there's supposed to be 5. I actually fit 7 in there, so which is good. So that's 700 calories of food per bottle. Now, I have the bottle taped to my bike, right? So I have my, not yet, I gotta fill them up, my waters here. So I got 50 ounces of water, and I've got 700 calories of food. And I'm wearing my tri-suit. I gotta get used to this thing. I gotta make sure that I feel comfortable in it. So today's a big experiment. We're gonna see how it goes. And you know, last week when I did the 5 hours today? Yeah, 4 hours and 45 minutes last week, sorry. I didn't eat anything and I came back, I was pretty hungry. So I wanna see how my body feels with the GUs. I have 700 calories to take with me. During the race, I'll have 2 or 3 of those taped on so that I'm good with nutrition. Since I've done this route, or I've done it before, I did it last week, I know where I'm going, so I'm not gonna take as long kind of being lost. Number 2, I know where the waters are. Like there's a park that halfway mark that I consider halfway. I'll refill my waters, drink, fill, So that's how I was able to consume 150 ounces last week, was not with the bottles, but before I filled them, I drank 2 whole bottles and then filled them. So I'm really not learning, but I'm just budgeting my food, budgeting my water, making sure that I take the least amount of time possible. I think I stopped once, maybe twice to use the restroom. Last time, maybe once. So these are little things I need to, to see what's gonna take my time, how I'm gonna feel. So my shoulder, right? I went to the lady yesterday, and now that she told me that it's a rotator cuff, I know how to work on rotator cuff. So all morning during work, I've been working on rotator exercises, and my shoulder feels good. For now, I'm sure it's gonna hurt a little bit more when I'm putting all my weight on it, on the aero bars, but at the moment, the shoulder feels good, the neck feels good. It was good to have seen the professional so that I know what is wrong and how to fix it. So that's going to be today's experiment, just to see how I feel. All my food, all my drinking. We are ready to go. Shaka, you can't go outside, baby girl. This is my oldie but goodie. She's, 13, about to be 14. All right, time to go. I'm in my suit, got my water, got my goose. Let's do it. See you in 5 hours. So I said that I looked at the bottoms of my shoes and I realized some wear patterns. All right, here is my wearing out pattern. All right, here it is. Let's take a look. So here is the wear patterns of my shoe. So just like a tire on a car, your shoe or the sole wear and tear or the wearing out pattern of the shoe can tell you your gait of your running. So these are my running shoes, and I've been running in these shoes now for the last 15 weeks, and they're probably a little bit worse than they should be, only because I started running, and when I wasn't a consistent runner, I was dragging my feet a lot. But my impact on the floor or the connection point will be the same regardless if I'm beginner or a little bit more of a normal runner, because my gait is my gait unless I fix it or at least work on it. So here we go, let's look at it. So if you look at the wear patterns, where I'm very consistent on the outside of the foot. The good news is that I'm not dragging my feet to the point where I'm contacting, or my contact point is not the heel. Because if you look at the heel, right, the tread almost looks brand new, right? So I'm not dragging my feet from my heels. I'm impacting midpoint of my foot, which is good, but I'm over supinating, right? My foot is landing like this. I'd like to land a little bit more neutral, where I can have a little bit more consistent wear and tear on the mid. But I'm extremely happy that I'm not a heel striker, because the heel striking is not shown, or there's no evidence of a heel strike. There's the evidence of a midfoot supinated position. Okay, so the contact point is good, but again, I like to have it a little bit more balance, a little bit here versus here. So that's the difference. Now, if we continue to look at the pattern wear and tear, you can see that I'm starting to wear a little bit on the high side. So I'm not landing like the heel strike. I'm landing here, right? So again, my whole goal is to land midfoot. I do not want to be a heel striker. So you can see, again, it starts to go up, but then the wear and tear transfers across towards the big toe, and you can see the wear and tear on the big toe. So the good news is I'm driving off of the big toe as opposed to continuing to drive in this outside position. So there is a transfer of energy, right? Which is good, because I want to drive off the big toe. That big toe is important. So I'm driving off the big toe, which is good. Is it both sides? Yeah, you can see it again on the tip. I'd like it a little bit here, but definitely the wear and tear of my shoe, I am transferring the energy from heel to big toe, which is good. If I would have been all here, that would have been an indication of high arch. If I would have been wearing out my shoe in here, that would tell me that I'm pronating my foot, meaning a very low arch. So my contact points look as if I have an arch right there. That's a contact point. So as soon as I make contact, there's a groove. That's it right there, right? You can see a little bit of space from the sole to the floor, or from the sole to the ground. So I'm contacting, and then I'm transferring the energy from here to here. So I'm going from a supinated position to a pronated position so that energy again crosses over. So I don't know much about running to really understand the wear and tear. It's not my expertise. Gait is definitely my expertise. Normal gait, walking, not running. But contact point here tells me that I'm midfoot planting versus heel, which is good. And because I'm not heel striking, I'm not a pusher. Hopefully this tells me that I'm a puller when it comes to running. So the difference between a pusher and a puller is that a pusher is driving off of the ball of the foot, driving forward, right? So think of it as more of a heel to toe push. Heel to toe push. That's called a heel striker. That would be the constant wear and tear here. Now I'm hoping to go connect, pull versus connect, roll, and push. I'm attempting to connect and pull. So as I pull, right, if this is my midline, my shoes when I'm running should look something like this, right? I'm not crossing the midpoint of my body, but I'm pulling back here versus something that looks like this, right? So now this would be more of a pusher, right? This would be contacting here as I roll, and then this would be somewhere in here where my legs would be way far apart, and every single time I heel strike, boom, I'm stopping and pushing, stopping and go, stopping and go. Where if I pull, I'm technically always falling forward versus pushing, right? So my idea, or the goal that I'm attempting to do, is when I run, right, I'm leaning and allowing gravity to push me forward, and all I'm doing is pulling from the ground versus using the energy of driving off the back foot, landing on the heel, driving off the ball of the foot and landing on the heel. So the big difference between pushing and pulling, one isn't right or one isn't wrong. It's just the philosophy that I learned and I wanted to mimic. So that's a breakdown of my push-pull and my shoe wear and tear on the sole. So just wanted to share that with you guys. It's just part of the documentation on the whole journey. So again, I'm just learning a lot of things about me, fixing a lot of things about me. So far, the shoulder is doing good. I'm doing a lot of rehab work for the rotator cuff, right? Doing one of these movements, another one here, opening up. And remember, the whole goal is just to bring the shoulder back, right? The shoulder is being pulled inward, right? One of the reasons, as I'm doing my swimming stroke, right? That's a lot on the shoulder. I went from never swimming to now all of a sudden swimming for a whole year. So there's going to be some wear and tear, and especially I'm not doing everything correctly because I'm learning. So again, there's going to be some misalignments and there's going to be some injuries. I just need 8 more weeks of this and I can fine tune in the future. I just need my body to hold on. I'm fine tuning as much as I can, doing a lot of thinking in my swimming. So it's definitely eye-opening to go through this whole experience. So I'm having a great time. So wanted to update you on that, and we will give you another update soon. All right, welcome back to the grading portion of my video. All right, so a little bit of a disappointment this week, but I'm okay with it. Let me start off first with the swimming. Now, the swimming has been good, although I do think that the swimming is causing the rotator cuff strain. And this is something I've always talked about, is that my swimming, my arms has always been, I think, the weak link or the last part that I've yet to get comfortable with or at least master. Hopefully I'm right with this. I don't know, we're gonna see. So we have the 3 portions of the swim stroke, okay? You have the recovery, the catch, and the pull, right? And I'm thinking that, I know that my recovery, right, I'm not bringing my elbow out first, right? I'm keeping my arm straight, right, which is then putting a lot of strain on the shoulder. and I'm swinging the arm around versus lifting the elbow, right? That's something that I know I have an issue with. Lissy's dad has been telling me that I've had an issue with it, and I'm really doing the best that I can to fix it. Only problem is I'm not recording my progress or my swimming all the time, so basically going through it in my mind, and that's never going to be 100% perfect because I can't fix what I can't see. So that, I think, is going to be the origin of my shoulder pain, my shoulder injury, because the swimming is not supposed to cause this type of injury if you know how to do it correctly. So I definitely take full responsibility that I'm not doing it correctly. But again, I'm only a year into my training, and there's going to be a lot of growing pains, and literally growing pains, I feel it. So that aside, right, that assessment aside, I definitely did all my swimming necessities and needs. So I'm giving myself an A because I'm doing the work, but because I need to fix something because now there's an injury, I have to take away that grade a little bit and bring it down to a B. Injuries is my body talking to me, telling me I'm doing something wrong. So I can't give myself a high grade if I'm doing something wrong. So I'm giving myself a B and going back to the drawing board and seeing if I can fix this stroke. All right, for the cycling. Cycling has been great. I will say I did take 2 days and did the cycling indoors versus the outdoors. So I have to dock my grade, but there's a good reason. For you new cyclists, if you guys don't have any experience cycling, one of the issues is, how do I say this? I don't want to say callus, right? But concept, right? I have calluses because, you know, I grab things and I work out, and the skin has to get tougher in order for me to do the things that I'm doing, or else my skin is going to rip. So there has to be some toughness in my hands to perform what I need to be done. So with that said, on the bike, there's a connection point between you and the seat. And there's 2 different types of connection points. And I'm not trying to be too graphic here, but I'll break it down hopefully as easy as I can. Here is a Gemini smash ball, right? I use this to smash my muscles, but we are going to pretend as if this is here is my butt, and I'm sitting on the seat. Another thing too is that the seat for the bike is like this thin. I mean, it's like small and very uncomfortable. So when I'm in my arrow position, right, I am really in a downward position. And if this were the front part of my body and this was the back part of my body, the really front end of the connection point hurts. I mean, it needs to be calloused, it needs to be something, because the more that you do it, the more that pressure, that sensation is not going to be as sensitive. Well, it's still sensitive a year into training, and it hurts. I mean, it's uncomfortable, especially when you're on there for 5 hours and there's still more to be done. So at times I alleviate that pressure or that connection point from here to here just by sitting up in an upright position, holding on to the handles. Well, the problem with that is now I'm creating a sail, because if I'm up, I'm creating a sail. I'm becoming more resistant to the wind because of my body. Now, if I'm in an arrow position, my goal is to get small so I can be more aerodynamic. So you can see the dilemma, right? I want to be in the arrow position, but my connection point from the seat and my body, it hurts. I mean, ouch. So that's been a big issue. So because of that, I've been on the bike, on the indoor cycling, just kind of give my area a rest, because I know on the weekends I have a long ride and I can't do those long rides on the indoor bike because I need that experience on the outdoor ride. So what I have been doing is I've been using my mountain bike shorts because I didn't want to wear my tri-suit. This weekend, when I did my 5-hour ride, I wore my tri-suit. Pure tri-suit, nothing else on. And I must say that the padding on the tri-suit is so much better than the mountain biking padding. It doesn't hurt when I use a tri-suit. So I was really happy that A, I must have gotten the right tri-suit, and B, that pain wasn't as bad as it was with the mountain bike. So that was good news. So that's the reason why I took 2 days off of the outdoor biking for the indoor, just to kind of give my area some rest. So I give myself an A+ on the cycling. Sorry, I gotta give myself a B because I did some indoor stuff, and I know how I feel about the indoor cycling. I don't feel as if it is as intense on the outside. To me, the outside, I enjoy the dangers of the streets, the cars, the chaos of people walking. I mean, other cyclists, I enjoy that. I don't wear earphones, so I like to hear what's going on, and I can't wear them during the race, so I'm already getting used to not entertaining myself while I'm cycling for so long. So I give myself a B, and all is good because now I'm using my tri-suit, and it's wonderful. All right, now for the running. This is where the bad news comes in. I had 4 days scheduled for the run, and I unfortunately did 2. And here is why. One of the days was a Friday run. I had a swim and a run, but Fridays when I went to go see the PT and did the whole PT thing, had my shoulder looked at, taken care of, and although it doesn't bother me when I run, I didn't want to go from a relaxed state to now all of a sudden a chaotic state, to go back to a relaxed state. So I said, you know what, let me take the day off and just enjoy the recovery, the rehab, and continue with the rehab on the shoulder, because I knew that on Saturday I was gonna have a big day. So I skipped the running on Friday. Saturday, I was supposed to run 45 minutes after my 5-hour bike ride, which I did 75 miles. And I did my 5 miles, came home, and looked at the clock and realized that I had scheduled an event to go somewhere with Lissy, and she has been supporting me, she's been by my side, and I just felt guilty if I would have, even if it was 45 minutes, I just felt like, hey, you know what, we're gonna have to be late to the thing that we're going to because I need to get this 45-minute run. Again, she's been supportive. I just kind of put the training aside and say, you know what, I can afford the missing run because I feel good in my running. And we had a date night Saturday night, and things were perfect. Things were good. So on the grading, I got to take it off the grade because I missed 2 days. But in my personal life, it was something that I definitely needed, and I'm glad I did. So Saturday was good for the personal life, but bad on the training life. Sunday, I had a 3-hour run, and I smashed a 3-hour run. So again, I'm really feeling good with the run. I am starting to think that the run is not going to be my weakness. We won't discuss what I think my weakness is going to be, but that is the grade thought process. So my grade, I'm going to give myself, since I missed 2 days and I missed them intentionally, so I'm going to give myself a C- because I smashed a 3-hour run the next day. So I went from a D to a C-. So those are my grades. That's my update. This is week 9. Wow, that means next week I'm 2 months out. These training sessions this whole training year has been wonderful. I'm already at the point now where I'm like, okay, I want this race to hurry up and go, because training for a year, preparing something for a whole year, I'm starting to have senioritis, right? Like the last 8 weeks to go, I'm like, I feel good, I feel ready. But, I'm starting to get a little bit lazy. I took those last 2 days off, the running days, which I never did before, but I feel like I needed them. I feel like I'm in shape. I don't feel like it was a big loss, but I'm definitely ready to get this race going. Originally, this was supposed to be the Alaska race, and that was on 6. So I would have done my Ironman if it wasn't for the cancellation. So now I'm 2 months out, I'm ready. But the one thing that I really need to understand is, although I'm ready, although I'm starting to fatigue mentally and physically, that this journey, these 2 video series of my journey to my first Ironman and countdown to my first Ironman, it's been a whole year's worth of training. Not just years of training, but a whole year's worth of videos. And I've documented this whole year, every single week, although in the training you'll see some missing weeks here and there. I haven't missed 1 week. Every week, almost 52 videos. And, I'm gonna miss that when this is all over for this goal. So I have to, really understand that yes, time is flying. Yes, I'm fatigued, but I need to enjoy this journey, right? I'm never gonna have this journey again for an Ironman. It'll be for something else, but this journey, I really just gotta embrace it, have fun with it, and realize that this race is going to be over quick. Just like that. So I'm enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm looking forward to the destination, but I will definitely miss this journey when it's all said and done. And I hope, really, really hope that you have enjoyed this journey as much as I have experienced it. So I'm hoping that I'm able to relay my feelings on this experience, and I hope I was able to articulate it to the point where you were able to understand it. That is, one of the hardest things on, creating content is, can I get the attention of other people with my information? So I hope I did a good job. 8 weeks coming up. 9 weeks is over. We will see you next week.